My name is Philip Lowe Jr. On February 7th, 2009, I met the most wonderful man. His name is Jason King. We met and fell in love literally overnight. We became each other's best friend. There is nobody we'd rather be with. The more we've gotten to know about each other, good and bad, the more we've learned to love each other. In April of that year, we decided that we would spend the rest of our lives together. We share each other's good times and bad times. We're just an amazing couple. The same month that Jason and I decided we would spend the rest of our lives together, a tragedy happened in my own personal life. I lost my job through no fault of my own. After nearly 2 years of seeing psychologists and psychiatrists and vocational rehabilitation counselors, on February 24th, 2011, just this year, I found out that I have Asperger's syndrome, meaning high-functioning autism. I didn't know that until literally 2 or 3 months ago from now. During the 2 years since April of 2009 that I've been struggling to find this out about myself, I went from getting a regular weekly paycheck from an employer to having to rely on Hennepin County here in Minnesota to provide me with food stamps, general assistance, and medical care. Thank God I could find it. But having to make that adjustment in my life has been very difficult. I have been very depressed about the fact that I can't work and supply a living like Jason can for me. And right back in April of 2009, when all this started, Jason could have decided, no, this is too new of a relationship and this is too much for me to handle. I'm just not going to do this. You're on your own. But no, many nights when I cried because I couldn't supply a need, an income like he can, he would say, when you're in love with somebody and you're married to somebody, it's for better, for worse, for rich or for poor, good times and bad, sickness and health, you're committed to each other no matter what. And he's done exactly that. How lucky I was to have somebody who understood that sort of thing. And I couldn't do no better but to love and support him. He works as a computer help desk person. He's very talented with computers. And he's even started going to school part-time at the Minnesota School of Business to get a degree in web design, so that someday he can make more money for us as a family. And I can't really do those things right now because I'm just learning that I have high-functioning autism, which means I need to almost learn a lot of things all over again. But Jason, he doesn't let that bother him. He keeps on working hard and keeps on loving and supporting me. During these 2 years, I have decided that I can do one of two things with all this stuff that's happening to me. I can stay at home and just be miserable, depressed, angry, or I can use my time to volunteer and help make the world around Jason and I a better place for us as a happy married gay couple, and actually have some sense of equality and hopefully a better life, better world, not just for us but for other people as well. And so we became active with a group like Outfront Minnesota, which is the state's organization working for LGBT equality here in Minnesota. We were on the host committee for creating Change 2011, the yearly conference of the National Gay and Lesbian Task Force. It was held this past February, and it was a great success, and it was just so great to work together to help make that conference happen. In 2010, I was a state delegate for the Democratic Farmer Labor Party when they had their state convention in Duluth in April of 2010, where we nominated candidates for governor and state offices. And in December 2010, I was part of the recount team to be sure and elect our wonderful new governor, Mark Dayton. Thank God we have the man. He's a great man to lead us. In 2010, in May of 2010, we walked together in the Minnesota AIDS Walk and helped raise money for education, awareness, and prevention of HIV/AIDS in the state of Minnesota. We have some great friends together. We go to St. Mark's Episcopal Cathedral and worship together every Sunday. We have a church home that loves and accepts us and celebrates us. On May of 2010, the day before the Minnesota AIDS Walk, Bishop Brian Pryor confirmed Jason and accepted me as a member of the Episcopal Church, and insisted I stand right behind Jason while he was being confirmed, because he recognized me as Jason's partner, who was there to support him and be with him in this time when he was confirmed. It's been an awesome experience. But what we don't have is equality as a married couple here in the state of Minnesota. As I record this video, the House of Representatives in Minnesota is debating and voting on a constitutional amendment that would ban marriage equality for couples like Jason and myself and other LGBT people and couples if voted on in the November 2012 ballot. let me tell you what inequality does for a couple like Jason and myself. I can go to Hennepin County and apply for benefits and help as an individual, but Jason and I cannot register or apply for benefits as a family because marriage equality is not recognized in the United States or the state of Minnesota. We have to apply as separate single adults. Yet, what's interesting about that is that once a year, I, as an individual, quote, single person, though I'm married to Jason, at least in heart and mind and life, can go and apply for once a year to have rental assistance. In order for me to qualify, I have to bring with me Jason's monthly and weekly income statements as my roommate, not as my husband or partner, as my roommate. Even though we live together as a loving married couple, he's my roommate according to state and federal guidelines. Wouldn't it be a lot easier if we could just apply as a couple, as a family? I would still have to bring the same information, but we can't do that. He's my roommate according to the state. To me, he's my husband. He's my best friend, and I am his best friend. I support him through difficult times with his own family, who doesn't really accept him because he's gay and now in a relationship. Is there anything I've said during this videotaped interview that tells you that we are not a married, loving, living family? Isn't this what married couples do? We support each other through sick times. When one person gets sick, we support that person, we take care of that person, we make sure that person has what they need, the love and the support they need to stay in there and keep on going. I think that's what married couples do. At least that's what I've heard married couples do. I've seen straight married couples support each other through cancer or Alzheimer's, or when they lose a job, or they find they can't work, or something's happened. They love and they support each other because they're there to. That's what they've become a couple to do. Not live in isolation, or like they can't support each other just because, well, that's, you're a man and I'm a woman, too bad, we can't help each other. No, they're married, they support each other because they love each other. Jason and I do the exact same thing as a married gay couple, at least in life and love and relationship. But we don't have equality. We don't have the equality that we are a legally married couple in these United States or in the state of Minnesota. And our state government is about to ask the voters of Minnesota in 2012 whether they can decide as part of the state constitution that our relationship cannot be legally recognized. And you know why this is allowed to happen? Because of a federal Defense of Marriage Act. A Defense of Marriage Act that says that marriage is only between a man and a woman. They can vote on this law, put it to our state's constitution, discrimination right into the state's constitution, and there is no federal law that says that that is not legal. If only our federal government would repeal the Defense of Marriage Act, that law on our state constitution in California and Maine and all of these other states would be gone, and we would have equality. Jason and I could apply for benefits as a married couple. Other couples might actually be able to support one another in sickness and in health, according to the legal laws of our country or our state. And this is why I believe the Defense of Marriage Act is so wrong. It's wrong because it defines people based on sexual orientation or gender expression or identity, and doesn't allow us to be married to the person we love. The federal government makes the decision as to whether or not we are legally married to the person we love. I just don't think that the federal government should make that decision, or state government, or state constitutional amendment, or state voters get to decide on whether my marriage should be legal. I think it's time for our state and federal governments, our federal government, to take a good look at what DAMA is allowing to happen for gay and lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people, couples, all over this great country we call America, the home of the free and the brave. I really think it's time to stop this nonsense and just realize that we're all different, but we're all Americans and all good human beings. As you go to repeal this Defense of Marriage Act, you're going to have organizations like the American Family Association or the Family Research Council or the National Organization for Marriage saying all these horrible things about LGBT people that just are not true. We do not want anything except the opportunity to marry one another, take care of one another. We want the opportunity to go to the hospital and make life-saving decisions that could save our lives with a physician for the other person without having to climb over a lawyer or a state law that says we can't decide that our loving man should be cared for by medicine because of some legalized discrimination stopping us. And when one of us should pass on to the next life, we want the opportunity to take care of that our partner's remains, or have them take care of our remains, without the federal or state government government saying you can't do that because you're not legally recognized as husband, wife, partner, whatever that term may be. I just don't think that's a good thing for America, for LGBT couples and people to be put in that situation, regardless of what any religious teaching says or whatever somebody's version of the Bible says. Look, this is about real people. This is about people like Jason and me. We just want the opportunity to marry and take care of one another, have one another take care of the other, without our federal and state governments saying you can't because it's the law. So I'm asking our senators and our representatives, or those who may be judging this case in a court someday, it's time to start thinking about real people. The people like Jason and myself and others who are affected by the Defense of Marriage Act. We just want to get married and love each other and support each other. That's all we want. And nothing any of these right-wing organizations say will change that. And so I'm asking you to repeal the Defense of Marriage Act and let all LGBT couples and people, all we want is equality. And isn't equal rights and justice for all what America is supposed to be about? Thank you for your time, and please, let's repeal DAMA. Let's end this senseless discrimination based on sexual orientation and or gender expression or identity. It's time to let everybody get married. Jason and I would really appreciate